Hello, future people! Welcome to Getting Tabled. I'm Jason the Bruce, and today we return to Bot War for Megatyrants' Revenge. So, Megatyrants' Revenge is a box set that has been out for a while. This is not for a faction that I currently own. It's one of the ones that I was very tempted to buy early on when I was trying to figure out what I wanted. And I ultimately ended up giving in and buying this one as well. Why am I buying new things? Shiny Syndrome? Alright, so here we are with Megatyrants' Revenge. And our first look at the new boxes. Now, boxes have been updated on the website for a little while, but at the time when my Infestors were posted, they hadn't actually arrived yet. But this is a vast improvement over the old ones. Not that the old ones didn't look pretty. The big problem from a retail perspective on the old ones is that the box didn't tell you anything about what was inside, other than that it was Bot War. So they've definitely gone and changed and fixed that. There's a nice lovely title here of what the actual bot set's called. You've got a logo here to tell you who they are. Obviously it tells you up here as well. And an actual picture of what these things could look like if you paint them that way. The side is still reminiscent of the previous ones, but in a new colour obviously. It does continue on the side. On the back, we actually get a little bit of a story here. So Megatyrant is arguably the most ruthless. Basically tells you who he is, who his faction is, and it gives you an idea of what the actual contents of the box are. Cards for our people that we will have a look at. And this particular set is coming with 4 baggies. So, I'm not going to go everything rules-wise, but just to give you an idea of what is coming in the box and how they stack up for the game. We've got our 3 mirror characters here. As we can see, their stats are all pretty much the same, but you would expect that they would be. We've also got Selenia, Siphene, Megatyrant himself, Rambot, Fear, Turbo, Scope, and finally, Angel. I like the artwork that you get on these. It gives you a feel for the game, and it gives you an idea of what you could paint them like if you wanted to. I think that if you was to try and have a picture of the model here, you'd kind of get lost in the shuffle. I like the fact that they've stuck with a theme on their bases, and I did notice that with the Infestors cards as well. It is also worth noting, because I only found this out recently, the sides of these cards are not a standard Pokemon Magic trading card type size. This is a regular poker card size, which is very slightly bigger, which means that they will not fit in normal card sleeves. So if you're the sort of person that wants to get card sleeves for all of your cards, you're going to need to look into this a little bit closer, because you will need to get something specific. The good thing is because there's not a lot of cards, you'd probably only need one for the entire range, almost. Maybe 2 sets. I will start with this bag. No particular reason why. It's just the one that my hand got to first. So this is a black resin. As I said in my previous unboxings, you're getting coloured resin for each faction. In theory, you could almost get away with not painting these. I'm not suggesting that you would do that. Especially if you're a miniature painter, you're never going to do that. But if I had all of my Deceivers and they're all black, and you've got all of your Infestors and they're all purple, then we can already tell whose peoples are what. The downside is going to be, obviously, telling them apart, potentially. But they are all fairly unique characters. We've also got, I think that's Fear's body. With his nice little unicorn head there. Very nice. And all very unique looking. I mean, these guys are both obviously plain. These guys are both obviously plain bots. But there's no real shared parts between them. They all look very different, which is good. I like that. Somebody's got a big giant go away axe. Little bit of a sprue gate there, but that's nothing that a little bit of knife can't fix. I suspect that that goes with this character, because that would make sense. Which also leads me to believe that these are going to be his hands. And, actually, looking at that, that's not a sprue gate at all. That's the lug that goes in the end of the arm. Look at that. Which will help hold it together. Another arm here. Now, it's probably worth noting that contrasts are not really going to be your best choice on these. Largely because everything is all flat panels. If you've gotten to a point with your contrast paints where you can keep an eye on them and stop them pooling in weird ways on flat panels, then maybe you can get away with it. But I'd probably suggest that you want to paint these up in the more traditional sense. The other good part, because of the way that they've designed these arms with the ball joint, you do get a little bit of posability in there as well. Not endless amounts, but enough that you can make it feel your own. Yarr! Oh wow, really? Megatyrant is all one piece. That is actually a surprise to me. I mean, I guess it's a fairly simple pose. You wouldn't need to have separate parts. But I'm really surprised that a bot as large as he is single piece. And it doesn't really suffer as a result either. I like that. Now, one other thing I can tell you is I don't think I'm going to do these up in the cell shaded way that I'm doing my other ones. Just because as much as I love how it looks I'm starting to realise that I don't enjoy doing that painting style. I find it frustrating. So I think I'm going to do these in a more traditional way. A little bit more rounded with these characters. Oh, that's not good. That looks like that was already previously damaged in the bag during transit. So I'm going to have to super glue that back together. This is something that you're going to have potentially with small models like this, just to give you an idea of size. It is quite small, so that connection joint in the neck was not very thick. I mean, it's something that happens. Super glue will fix it. It is disappointing, but it is something that happens. I should have probably been looking more carefully while I was doing things. I'm surprised that that is not a separate piece. But the casting is flawless. There's not even really much in the way of mould lines. I know the black doesn't show up terribly well on camera. I hope the light is helping with that a little bit. But it should be enough to show you that there's not really much in the way of mould lines. At all. And the last of the smaller bots. That is definitely a one piece. This set of wings, I think, is for this lady. The one that broke on me. Very, very nice. I love his dual pistols. So that's another... That's another of the single piece. This is one of the mirror brethren. I'm fairly sure that that is the leader of them. For a couple of reasons. One is, he has the horns. The second is, he has 2 guns, they have 3. So clearly he is the leader and they are the mirrors. That is my logic. At this particular point, I can't sit here and say that I'm shocked or surprised that the quality of the minis is really good. I think I've unboxed enough of it now to be able to see that the quality standard is across the line. It's not just a matter of... Not that I had doubts on that. Because I would have been hearing that from the other people playing the group by now, if that was an issue. But I've gone through 2 different boxes of Infestors. I've now done the Deceivers. I've gone through the older starter set, and none of them have really had any issues with the sculpting at all. I've also not seen anything come up in other people's reviews. So despite the fact that Anthony is a small company in Australia, he's got something going really nicely here. I'm looking forward to getting some games in. I haven't done that at this stage. It's probably going to be a few weeks before I do. But my hope is that I'm going to be getting a game in at some point in the next couple of weeks. I'm really, really excited to get it done. If you're someone that likes big stompy robots but doesn't want to be playing with miniatures this big, technically this is 8mm. I know they look like 28mm miniatures, but they're supposed to be giants. Like if you get into the 80s cartoons, Traders Galaxy have a lot of things that you need to look at, because very reminiscent of a lot of things that some of us watched when we were growing up. I would highly recommend checking it out. Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you're enjoying the content of this channel, please like and subscribe. If you're in a position to do so, please check out patreon.com/gettingtabled. You receive early access to at least 80% of all videos that we put out, and you get access to the video edition of all of our podcasts the day that they're uploaded. If you'd like to check us out on social media, facebook.com/gettingtabled is the most active. We also have a Discord server. You can email our team at gettingtabled@gmail.com. If you're on either Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at gettingtabled. And until next time, play more.